Let's talk about the Oscars. Every year there's always that moment everyone talks about. But what if the big story isn't a beautiful dress or a moving speech, but a moment of, well, what a lot of people call disrespect? We're going to break down one specific Oscar incident that absolutely blew up online and started a massive debate about whether Hollywood actually lives by the values it talks about.
So imagine this. You're on top of the world. You've just won an Oscar, you're on stage in front of millions of people, and right in the middle of your thank yous, the orchestra just starts playing you off. That's what happened. And the big question isn't just why they did it, but why this particular moment caused such an uproar.
Okay, so let's set the scene properly. We're at the fictional 98th Academy Awards. The energy in the room is electric, and it's time to announce the winner for Best Original Song. And the Oscar goes to Golden. This was a song from the huge animated hit K-pop Demon Hunters. And this wasn't some little indie track, okay? This was a monster song, a global phenomenon. For the whole creative team, this was it, the absolute peak. But as the winners get up there and start their speech, the music swells and they get played off, just like that. And the reaction in the room was instant. As this quote points out, you could actually hear people booing in the theater. I mean, talk about an awkward moment to broadcast live to the entire world.
And here's the detail that really poured gasoline on the fire. The source material we're looking at makes a huge point of this. The winners were international artists. English was their second language. So cutting them off while they're trying to express this huge emotional moment, it didn't look good. At all. It felt pretty disrespectful to a lot of people watching.
Now, for the commentators we're following, this wasn't just a simple mistake, like they ran out of time. Oh no. They saw it as total hypocrisy, a moment that showed a massive disconnect between what Hollywood says and what it does. So this critique comes from a YouTube channel, WDW Pro, and they basically held this up as Exhibit A. They argued that this is the moment the mask slipped, where Hollywood's carefully polished image just cracked, right there on live television. And this slide right here, it just lays out their whole argument perfectly. On the one hand, you've got Hollywood's public message, right? We're all about diversity, inclusion, celebrating artists from around the world. But then on the other hand, you have what the source calls the reality of the situation, rushing those very same international artists off the stage. They called it virtue signal decoration. Ouch. This quote really gets to the heart of the frustration, doesn't it? It's all about priorities. The show had plenty of time for long scripted jokes that nobody was laughing at, but it couldn't spare 30 more seconds for the winners. The actual emotional, unscripted moments that, as they argue, are the whole reason we watch in the first place. So you might be wondering, okay, but why all this fuss over the Best Original Song Award specifically? Well, according to the source, this wasn't just any category. For them, it represents something so fundamental, so powerful about cinema. The music. Their point is that music is the true universal language. I mean, think about it. A great score can make you feel joy or terror or heartbreak without a single word of dialogue. It can take a movie from being pretty good to being absolutely unforgettable. Sometimes the music is what you remember decades later. And to get technical for just a second, they talk about the leitmotif. It's basically that little piece of music that you instantly connect with a character. Like the second you hear that dun 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 dun, you know the shark is coming in Jaws. Or you hear the Imperial March, you know exactly who's walking into the room. It's storytelling with sound. And the source points to the absolute masters of this. Guys like John Williams, Howard Shore, Alan Silvestri. Their music isn't just in the background, it's practically another character in the film. It's part of the movie's soul. And this is where the conversation gets a whole lot bigger. The source uses that awkward Oscar moment as a jumping-off point to talk about the entire entertainment industry. They believe that snub wasn't just a one-off mistake, but a symptom of a much deeper issue. So their theory is this: the art of the truly great, iconic, original movie score, the kind with those unforgettable themes, has been on a downward spiral for about 20 years now. We just don't get as many of them anymore, they argue. And what's the cause? Well, they point the finger directly at Hollywood's obsession with sequels, reboots, and remakes. Think about it. Why go to the trouble of creating a bold new musical theme when you can just reuse the classic one everyone already loves? And they give an example that we have all 100% heard. You know that modern movie trailer formula? The one that takes a famous upbeat song and does a slow, sad, dramatic piano version of it? That's what they're talking about.
It's playing on our nostalgia instead of giving us something new.
So you add it all up. The Oscar incident, the feeling that movie music isn't as original, the endless reboots, and it brings these commentators to a pretty bleak conclusion. They suggest that maybe we're in a period of cultural stagnation, just recycling the amazing art from the past instead of making the new classics for the future.
And that's really the question that one awkward moment at the Oscars leaves us with. Are we just too obsessed with nostalgia, constantly looking backward, or are we actually creating the next generation of classics right now? It's a big question, and we'll leave it there for you to chew on.